You now tuned in to the Gumptown Podcast. I'm your boy Doug B. We ain't got nothing to talk about, but we got something to talk about. Let's go. Good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 135. I'm your boy Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving this podcast a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Credit Miracles Credit Repair. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I'm sure we'll all be inspired by her story. Let's chop it up with LaSundia McCarter. Sunday, how's it going?
It is going good, Doug. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to be speaking with you today.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time to chop it up and looking forward to the conversation.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So you're born and raised in the Gump. What was your upbringing like coming up in the city?
Ooh, so I come from a very tough and hard background. Poverty is the as deep as you can get in the poverty is kind of where I come from. I was raised really my upbringing, for the first 10 years of my life, I was raised by my mother. And then after that point, she decided, hey, it's time for dad to step in and take over. So from that point 10 to 18, I was raised by my father. When I turned 18, I got full custody of my sister. At that time, she was 11 years old. So I became a mother, a child raising a child very early. And that's how I got into credit repair, actually. Us having to get a vehicle, an apartment, everywhere I went, every direction I turned, I kept getting denied because of credit. But no one before then told me that even existed, actually. So poverty, not knowing anything about life is where I come from.
Wow, and I appreciate you for sharing your story, being transparent, and wow, you had to grow up really fast, sounds like.
Definitely. Again, yep, very, very fast. My dreams and aspiration, which I'm happy life happened the way it did happen, but I actually wanted to be an attorney. So that was my dream job was to be a defense attorney. All my life, very smart in school. I was actually going to decide to go to Howard University. That was my goals and everything I wrote out, but I had to make a decision to either go and pursue my dreams or let my dreams go, at least for now, to give myself the life, at least a chance to be better than the opportunity that we had. So 18, two jobs, taking care of her and just making stuff happen. So I changed the role from sister to mommy just like that.
Wow, that's powerful right there. I'm talking about 18 years old, getting after it, working two jobs. Most 18 years old, most 18-year-olds getting ready to go to college, and
Right. That was my plans to go out there and get to college, seeing my friends and stuff go. But no, I literally just played the cards that were dealt and I don't regret it because that's where I am now. So everything worked out, I feel like how it was supposed to.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. It always does. And it doesn't make sense why we're going through what we're going through a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, but once we get to the other side of it, it all makes sense. And
Right.
yes,
Look,
ma'am.
look, the downfall could have been stuck with a lot of student loan debt. Ain't nothing wrong with that for the people that decide to go to school. But my focus at the time, if I would have went to school, I would have been so focused on my sister that I wouldn't even been able to pursue it, how I needed to anyway.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I definitely understand that. So you finished up high school. By the way, which high school did you attend and graduate from?
So I went to Carver 9 to 11, and I graduated from Lee.
Okay, nice. I graduated from Lee as well, class of
Okay,
'06. So what class you graduated?
2014.
Okay, got it, got it. Yeah,
Yep.
it's called Percy Julian now, but I still
Right.
call it Lee.
Me too.
Yes, ma'am. So after you graduated from high school, Lee High School, did you go to college? Did you go to work, military? What did you do after school?
I went straight to work. So having real bills, real responsibility, no help and support. Well, my brother, he definitely helped. He decided to take in the father role. My brother's actually only 1 year older than me, so it's not really a big difference in age. But we decided to take care of myself together. While actually at that time my mother actually got incarcerated, so that's why we got our sister and took care of her. So I worked all of my life up until 2019, and that's when I decided to fire my boss and decided to be an entrepreneur and doing my own thing. The same energy and time I gave them, I decided to give myself, and that created the success that I now have.
Mm. I like that. Dell fired the boss. Get out of here.
Yeah. Fired the boss and became the boss.
Yes, ma'am. Respect. So let's talk more about that. So credit miracles, credit repair. What services do you offer?
So credit repair, of course, helping people just like me. That's what I always come back to, just the people that want to do better, but they don't even know how to do better or have the right people in their place to even know just where to begin. So we specialize in helping people restore their credit. I personally have a niche, homeowners. I actually recently purchased my home about 2 years ago, but even before then, a lot of my clientele was coming to me who wanted to become homeowners. And credit, you can't do we can't do anything without credit, but specifically become a homeowner. So anyone that had that dream, but they had past mistakes, maybe lost their job, maybe got sick, especially during COVID, a lot of stuff happened. And now they're back on track with a steady job, and they want to fix their credit so they can get a house. Those are the people that I can help. But I also mentor others as well. I became an adult just like that. So I definitely tailor my service a little bit, not charging, but mentor people who are in 11th and 12th grade who parents are open to me just teach them about credit. So I have like a mom and daughter thing where I just teach moms about credit they can pass down and start breaking those generational curses in their family.
Hmm. I think that's great that you're in this field. And to your point, you said just helping people break generational curses and educating them on credit because, hey, let's call a spade a spade. In the black culture, we're not educated on finances most of the time. We
Right.
come up and we just be winging it and we realize after the fact, after we done ran up them credit cards and them bill collectors
Mm-hmm.
cards, so I think it's great that you are being of service to people and using your pain and things that you had to endure and growing up fast, and you turn that pain into purpose, it sounds like.
Definitely, pain is a passion, and that's one thing that my service have. And I connect with my clients, even though now I'm not in the business. Like that was my goal is to have a whole team. It's still my business, so I'm still connected and very personalized. And my clients are my cousins. Like I talk to them with like we real with them. So we're gonna get you to where you need to be, but we're not gonna play no games, and we're very serious. But like I said, I'm pretty sure finding me, you see the reviews are there. We still have a 5-star rating, so I'm passionate, but I'm real. So people usually come to me because again, I'm very young. So most of the people that are in my program, they look like me, they talk like me, they sound like me, so I can relate to the struggle. A lot of them too I went to school with. So they know exactly where I come from and just want to support who I am down as a woman.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. That's powerful stuff. So, from your perspective, being an expert in this field, being an owner of a credit repair business, just how important is it to have good credit?
You can't make nothing shake without credit. Like literally nothing. And people don't understand credit goes more than just surface level stuff, getting approved and getting denied. Even when it comes to getting like insurance, your insurance, your credit score, even though you have an insurance score, so it's not necessarily a credit score, but your credit score matters even when it comes to insurance. Sometimes I recently had a situation where a client didn't have the resources there. Parents, they didn't have life insurance and stuff. Somebody died unexpectedly. They couldn't get a loan to bury the person. So stuff that people don't even think about may happen. It does happen. So even if you feel like you're a person who don't need credit, it's better to have it and not need it than to come a situation where you need it and you don't have because we all fall short sometimes. And if you don't have credit, you're not gonna make nothing shake unless you got the cash to just drop right out. And even if you do, use their money to make more money. So it still makes sense to have the credit on the back end.
Hmm. That's a great breakdown. Like you broke it down as simple as possible. If you ain't got credit, you can't make none shake. That's a fact.
Definitely.
Yes, ma'am. And even to that point about having cash, I mean, yeah, paying cash for everything is cool,
Right?
but using other people's money is also cool too if you know how to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it's about. Like it's so many different things about credit. Credit is so deep. It's more than a 15, 30-minute call. And that's what make my program different. We actually teach people about credit. Y'all can fix it, but if you don't understand it, you're gonna get right back in the same situation where you started. So my
Right.
program is definitely education field. Again, same way we talking. I had the same conversation with the client so they understand credit. So even if we don't get into a 700, 750, 680 at least, that's still fair credit. You can still make some stuff happen. Once we teach you over time, you can get yourself to 750, 800, 2 to 3 years down the line.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff. So I know you said in 2019, that's when you officially became a full-time entrepreneur. And we all know what happened in 2020, the pandemic, everything
Mm-hmm.
was shut down, quarantine and all that stuff. How did you manage to pivot during the pandemic and stay afloat in business?
So the great thing about credit repair, it doesn't need a physical location. Everything can be online, just talking on the phone, gathering information. So I didn't, my business for one actually did not suffer during COVID, thankfully. It just really gave me more opportunity and more time to study and find the market, find the niche and service, get my face and get my business in the face of people that actually want my services. So it really just made me more hungry. A
Mm.
little bit how it kind of went. So 2018 is when I started my business. I was a manager at an insurance company. And truthfully, I just got tired of being tired, getting after years, giving these people 12 hours a day, 12-cent raise. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this ain't for me anymore. So
Right.
I personally just left 2019. 2020, I made my first six figures in my business, hire help, because I feel like there is no $1 million company, just one person by themselves. I don't care what nobody tell you. So I decided to hire help in 2020 when I made my first six figures, 2021, 2022, 23, and 2024. I have created now a seven-figure credit repair company, and we service right now about 3,000 clients throughout the U.S. when it comes to restoring their credit.
That's what I'm talking about, leveling up on them out here. And you said
Definitely.
something. Hey, and you said something so key Sunday. You said no companies, no $1 million companies out here is just one person. Like
Mm-hmm.
you had enough awareness to identify you needed to hire and delegate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great that you were able to identify that. And I mean, and it's so important because we can go out here and try to be lone wolves and build
Right.
a
That
million
was
dollar
me.
empire. You're gonna burn out before you make it to that million
Mm-hmm.
on yourself. I mean, alone. But that's great that you were able to identify that. And that actually transition right into the next portion perfectly. So whenever I have entrepreneurs, creators on the platform, I like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. So you pretty much already covered your aha moment. Working in insurance, you realize they were paying you them little crumbs, and that was kind of like
Man,
that was your spark to start your company. Is that correct? Was that your aha moment?
it wasn't actually started. I was already in it, but I wasn't on the like. I was just really. I started my company 5 years ago, so I was 27 now, so 22. So my goal really was just to make a couple $100 a month. Because again, I'm struggling. Got a at that point a 12-year-old taken care of. So my goal was really just to make a couple $100 to. You see that expensive weave? They can't really see it in here, but that weave I got in my head, just the average thing that a 22-year-old is thinking about. I got really good at it. I got really good. Service is good. So people start referring somebody who referred somebody who referred somebody. And by a year, I was up to like 150 clients by myself. And they came in, brought me in the office, and were like, hey, we give you a raise. Like I'm excited. I'm thinking like they finna take me up.
Yeah.
And 12 cents. That was it. And at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm putting my 2 week notice in right now. And that was it. And just yeah. So that really was my aha moment. Like you working 12 hours a day doing this, managing all these offices, locations, and I always tell people they pay you enough, but never enough to be next to them. You can never live next to them just enough for you to survive. I was literally at that point. Every time I got paid once a week, enough to literally just overdraft my. I was overdrafting my account every week. So robbing Peter to pay Paul. I was literally that's it. And at that point in time, I was living in like a 1 bedroom duplex, nothing fancy, paying $350 a month in rent and still struggling.
Mm. Yes, ma'am. That's how I go. Like that's how the 9 to 5 thing go. I still work a nine to
Mm-hmm.
five, but I agree wholeheartedly just in terms of they're never gonna pay you enough. Your CEO will never pay you enough to live in the same neighborhood as him. That's just the
Right.
fact.
Yeah.
So, so you had your aha moment and you already you had already started the company. So by the time you had the aha moment, how long did it take you to make a decision in terms of this is what you wanted to do full time? Like, was it that 12-cent raise? Was it
It
that
was
change?
because I was already debating about it.
Okay.
With now my husband, but that time my boyfriend, he was like, "Listen, I think we can do it. Like, babe, I think we can do it. I'll go out and market because he's the really the talker. I wanted him to be a part of it, but now he got to get the girls ready for the night. But he's good with the talking and the connecting with people. I'm good with the customer service.
Hmm.
So we said, hey. let's quit and let's get it all I got. I'll 8 to 5, I'll be out there marketing, you be behind the phone, and we gonna make this thing work. So he was really been telling me to do it. Fear. I was just scared to make that step out. But when they offered me that 12 cent, oh, that was it. I was like, oh yeah, that here you go. I could make more than that just enrolling somebody. Again, I'm only paying $300 fees in rent. So
Mhm.
if anything happens, I can go to McDonald's. I'm 22, so I can always come back and do insurance. So that's kind of how he really helped me to step out on fear. But that 12 cents that was definitely that push over for me.
Yes, ma'am. I definitely understand, and that's some powerful stuff. So that last portion, pretty much, you just answered the last portion in the previous question. So in terms of who or what gave you that courage, that audacity to go for it, sounds like your husband was that encourager. He gave you that
Mm-hmm.
courage to step out there and do it, and that's what it takes. Like that's what it's all about: having a spouse, companion, lover who understands you, who supports you. So that's amazing.
That's it. Yep.
Yes, ma'am. So when you got ready to, so when you decided to leave where you were working at, did you let any of your coworkers know what you were about to embark on, or did you just kind of just,
Yeah, actually, everybody already knew I was fixing everybody credit already in the company or just giving them education. But when I decided to quit, it was just on the spot. Like when they presented the offer, that was it. So it was kind of just more of a quick. I put a 2 week notice in, but I didn't even last 2 weeks. It just like I couldn't even last that long simply because it just yeah. So my coworkers or the people that I was over, they knew, but when I ended up leaving, I just left out like one Friday and just never returned. I think it probably happened on a Wednesday. I put a 2 week notice in and just never came back after that Friday.
hey, I understand, I get it, because when they want to get rid of us, they don't necessarily give us
No notice.
no notice. They be like,
Not at all.
hey, you know, you know how they go. They be like, hey, we decided to move in a different direction. So,
Mm-hmm.
can you pack your stuff and
That's it.
get
Clean your
out?
office out. Give me your keys.
So now that's amazing that you had that courage, that audacity to step out there and be a full-time entrepreneur. So just what is that like on a day-to-day basis being a full-time entrepreneur? Just take us through that.
Okay, so for me at this point, it looks a little different when you just start. So when I first started, again, it was me just totally just burning myself out. So actually, you work more hours as an entrepreneur than working. I was working an 8 to 5, 9 to 5, being an entrepreneur, creating a 6 figure, 7 figure operation. I mean, 12 to 16 hour shifts, being up all night. I just remember the beginning stage. So very, very hard work. But now I'm at a point where, of course, I have people that I delegate tasks to. I have that are operating procedure. I have a lot in place. So I'm just chilling now. I'm a full-time mom, shop, look pretty, sleep, and just enjoy life. So at this point in my life, I am reaping the benefits of the company that I created. But at first, it definitely wasn't anything like that. It was hard work to get here. And not just in the business, just my whole life. I literally had to struggle up until 2019. So from as far as I can remember, struggle all of my life until this time.
Hmm. That's powerful stuff, Sunday, and all the things you endured growing up and having to grow up fast, raising your sister, you and your brother collectively. Like I said earlier, we never understand what we're going through when we're going through it, but all of that, it just built that resilience in you. Like, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
you're able to reap the benefits, because you could have easily say, you know what, I don't want to raise my sister. I'm gonna go
Right.
off to the military. I'm gonna go off to school and do my own thing. But something inside you told you to stay obedient and stay put where you were and raise your sister. And now you're reaping the benefits of building a 7 figure company. That's powerful.
Definitely. And then that's one thing too, through everything, God, like through all this stuff and everything, God, keeping my head in the word, having a spiritual husband and that's the key to everything. So it ain't been easy. We wanted to give up numerous of times, but we did it and just staying deep in the word and prayer. That definitely has gotten us through the storm. I mean, the storm. He's been right there with me through these 5 years. So yeah. And we've been together 8 years, but I had my business for 5.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. That's good stuff. So credit miracles, credit repair, you've done great things with the company, and I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are your short-term and long-term goals for the business that you feel comfortable sharing?
Okay, so right now, what I'm working on is already working very good for me. Is I've hired independent contractors. There's a lot of people that reach out to me that want to get into credit repair. but they don't really want to take on the overhead, which every business has some, so operational costs. So what people are doing is they're working under me. I have a brand that's already built, so you don't have to kind of persuade people as to why we're good, and they make commission off of it. So right now I have 15 agents under me. The goal is to have at least 60 by the end of the year, and to really, if everything goes according to how I want, is to at least triple my profits. So that's what I'm working on. Of course, having people that work commission, there isn't anything I have to pay them money like I do my hourly people. So that's something I've been working on for the last year, and it's going really good so far.
Okay, good stuff. So you're just continuing to expand, and so that's what you got going on.
Franchise it, so people can actually, buy into the company and have their own credit miracle. So I'm just trying to step farther away as I can, and reap the benefits of it, really. So the goal is to have as many credit miracles and many people working under me who still believe in seeing my dreams, and I could just, totally sit at the top and just travel around the world with my family. That's my ultimate goal.
Yes, ma'am. Sounds good. And I have no doubt you'll grow it to that level to where you'll be able to do exactly what you just said. Keep rocking and rolling.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. As we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask $1 million question, Sunday. I started this podcast to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery, whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work. You being a hometown hero, what makes you the most proud to be from the Gump?
Let's see, because I want to be real with this answer. So, what makes me proud to be from the Gump is through all the struggles and everything that I've seen and endured, I still made a way. Even when I feel like it wasn't anyway, I still came out on top. So, for the people that's listening to this podcast, and especially for the young people who like me, who went to leave, don't have a good anything, know that no matter what you're going through, this can be you 10 years from the line. So don't let your right now determine your future. You can make a way. You just gotta figure out how to make that way. And for all the young people listening, not so young people listening, if you need help with anything as far as credit, you don't have to enroll. Like I have free talks with people all the time. Reach out. I'll love to be the person to guide you to whatever goals and stuff that you need.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff. So how can the people connect with you Sunday? What are your social media handles and website?
So my website is miraclesofcredit.com. So if you want to just see the services that we offer, jump on the website. If you want to, the website will lead you to our business page and social media channels. But if you want to connect with me personally, become my friend, follow, send me a message. You can look at me on Facebook. It's LaSundia Credit Queen McCarter. That's my personal page. And yeah, I'm an open book. I feel like I'm very transparent. That's one thing about me too. I'm going to share. If you have any questions, I don't mind sharing. Because I always tell people this too. You can tell people everything. That don't mean they're going to do it. So I'm a person that's going to tell you everything and hope that you listen and follow so that you can see the success. And not just business wise, but just credit wise and just life in general.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff. And of course, I'll put all of the information in the description of the episode. Hey, Sunday, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate you.
No problem, Doug. Thank you for having me again. And you have a good day.
Yes, ma'am. You too. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Go on. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your attention. Until next time.